What impact will this competition have on Tesla and its investors, if anyone at this point? Watch this video to find out more. Before anything else, be sure to like this video and subscribe to Only Pay. Cathie Wood, CEO of Ark Invest, offers a bold vision of a world where electric vehicles rule, emphasizing the importance of embracing this change along with other Tesla bulls. We'll see how Tesla can grow your money in the coming days. According to information from a well-known Tesla investor, sales of electric vehicles are anticipated to skyrocket in 2022 compared to the previous few years. According to the most recent data from the International Energy Agency's report on global EV sales, which offers an outlook for the sector, sales are expected to rise by 35% in 2023. Global sales of electric vehicles are expected to reach 14 million units in 2023, up from 10 million units in 2022, with a market share of 14 to 18%. While the US and Europe still have a long way to go to catch up with China, which will account for 60% of all sales of electric vehicles in 2022, the trend is favorable. Advancing the view, according to the IEA, the EV market share will reach 35% by 2030, with the US achieving 20% and Europe aiming for 25%. China is anticipated to maintain its 40% market share, but there are sizable discrepancies between the IEA's projections and the objectives set by American and European legislators. While Europe aims to have zero carbon emissions by 2035, the Biden administration wants 50% of all cars sold in the US to be zero-emission vehicles by 2030. The future of electric cars faces difficulties and uncertainties in bridging these gaps. Rapid adoption of electric vehicles is taking place, and nations all over the world are realizing the advantages of clean energy. Australia, for instance, has put policies into place to encourage the use and sale of electric vehicles. In this report, we'll examine analyst predictions and delve into what the future may hold for electric vehicles. Analyst predictions for the future of EVs vary. Sales of electric vehicles have increased significantly. Surge in 3 significant markets have been driving the movement. China, the main participants in this revolution, are Europe and the United States. With 60% of all electric car sales expected to occur globally in 2022, China has particularly taken the lead. Last year, sales of electric cars increased significantly worldwide by about 60%, surpassing the 10 million mark. Europe and the United States were closely behind, with their markets seeing significant growth of 15 and 55 respectively. According to a recent report by the International Energy Agency, by the end of 2021, the number of electric cars on the road had surpassed 16.5 million, and projections show that the global electric car stock will increase to nearly 350 million vehicles by 2030. Marking the first time that 1 out of every 7 passenger cars bought globally in 2022 was an electric vehicle. To mitigate the risk of supply bottlenecks and potential price increases in the future, efforts must be made to diversify battery manufacturing and secure critical mineral supplies in order to achieve this growth. However, the good news is that prices for electric vehicles are anticipated to drop significantly, possibly to within their current price range. This price cut will probably increase consumers' interest in EVs even more. The question of whether electric vehicles will eventually replace all other types of vehicles is one that only time can answer. But if you're interested in staying informed on all developments in the electric vehicle industry, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. This is because of the increasing demand for electric vehicles, which has led to the development of numerous advantages for electric cars over conventional internal combustion engine vehicles. Several automakers have set high goals for the production of electric vehicles in the upcoming years. BMW plans to sell 2 million electric vehicles by 2025, with a goal of having 50% of its global sales be electric by 2030. In a similar vein, Ford expects that by 2030, electric vehicles will account for 50% of all vehicle sales. Ford wants to make 270,000 cars per year in North America by the end of 2023 and 600,000 electric vehicles by the end of 2023. Europe and China are also significant players. By 2035, General Motors plans to sell only vehicles with zero emissions. As the trend toward electric vehicles picks up speed, according to a study done by the Argonne National Laboratory, sales of conventional cars with internal combustion engines have decreased by 25% in the past 5 years. The environmental effects of gas-powered vehicles compared to electric ones are also becoming more apparent, which is encouraging more people to consider buying an EV. The price of an electric vehicle's upkeep and repairs. Electric vehicles are more energy efficient than internal combustion engines, which lose 60% of their energy through heat and friction. Transit bus prices are 40% lower than those of an internal combustion engine vehicle of the same size. Apart from their efficiency, gas-powered vehicles require much more energy to travel the same distance as an electric vehicle because of this inefficiency. Due to their fewer moving parts and reduced weight, electric vehicles also provide greater reliability. Oil dependence, but it's crucial to note that switching to the production of electric cars is not an easy task for automotive manufacturers, as the technology involved is completely different from that of traditional vehicles. The latest edition of the International Energy Agency's Global EV Outlook for 2023 reveals record-breaking sales figures that continue the industry's trend of sustained growth in 2022. EV sales soared to over 10 million units last year, with China leading the market, accounting for approximately 60%. Worldwide sales of electric vehicles exceeded 10 million, and it is anticipated that this year's sales will increase another 35% to 14 million. This rapid expansion represents the significant increase in the electric vehicle market share of the total automobile market, which went from 4 in 2020 to 14 in 2022, and is predicted to reach 18 in 2023. According to the EU, electric vehicles are essential to the global energy economy's development and are causing a historical shift in the global automobile industry. The agency emphasizes that these trends will have a significant impact on global oil demand, and that electric vehicles are poised to challenge internal combustion engines' century-long hegemony. In addition, the IEA forecasts that the first wave of electric vehicle adoption will soon be followed by that of electric buses and trucks. According to the EU's preliminary reports, sales of electric vehicles, including battery and plug-in hybrid models, exceeded 10 million units in 2022, an increase of 55% over 2021. In addition to surpassing the total number of automobiles sold in the entire European Union, this figure is also almost half of China's total automobile sales for the same year. In total, there were more than 26 million electric vehicles on the road in 2022, an increase of 60% from 2021. The overall cost of owning and operating an electric vehicle is anticipated to decrease as the price of batteries decreases. Additionally, as solar and wind energy sources become more expensive in comparison to coal, the cost of electricity is likely to be less expensive than the cost of gasoline. Automakers must switch to producing electric vehicles, says Tesla investor and stock expert Cathie Wood, or risk losing market share to EV companies. She anticipates a rise in interest in electric cars. Since a decline in oil demand is anticipated soon, yet another Tesla, Sony Saba Bull emphasizes the widespread use of electric vehicles, but warns that not all manufacturers of internal combustion engines can keep up with the demand for electric vehicle production. He stresses that making the switch to electric vehicles entails more than just producing them. It also entails developing a reliable and accessible charging infrastructure and addressing the environmental impact of the extraction of vital minerals for electric vehicle batteries. By 2030, Tony Saba, an advocate of technological disruption and convergence, expects there to be a significant shift toward electric vehicles. With government-owned vehicle fleets expected to be completely phased out and replaced by 100 electric vehicles by 2035, EVs are expected to dominate the automotive industry. 100 electric vehicles will replace similar privately owned light-duty vehicles with internal combustion engines by 2040. In this decade and beyond, aggressive policy initiatives like the Fit for 55 package in the European Union and the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act in the United States are anticipated to further increase the market share of electric vehicles. By 2030, the average share of electric car sales in China, the EU, and the US is anticipated to be at or near 60%. The video has now come to an end. Give this article a thumbs up if you enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe to Only Pay.